Parak HaMoicher is Habayis Daf Ayin Aleph, sponsored the Refuah Shlema for Yehuda Chaim ben Esther Sarah. We begin with the Mishnah. The Mishnah first discusses items not included in a non-specific sale of a field where the seller even stipulated who, v'chol ma shebesocho, it and all its contents. For example, an irrigation pit, a wine press in a vineyard, and a dovecot, whether they are still used or not used. The Mishnah states a consequence of different opinions of a seller's attitude. According to Rabbi Akiva, the seller sells generously. Therefore, for items not included in a sale, he must renegotiate rights of access unless he stipulates explicitly, I am selling you the field except for these items. The stipulation is not necessary to exclude items already excluded. It is to retain right of way. However, the Chachamim hold the seller sells stingily. Even after the sale, he retains rights of access. The Mishnah states these rulings reverse when he sells the contents and retains ownership of the land. According to Rabbi Akiva, when the seller sold its contents, he included right of way. According to the Chachamim, the purchaser must negotiate access. The Mishnah distinguishes between a sale and a gift. One who gifts a field includes all its contents unless specified otherwise. This distinction also applies to Rabbi Akiva. A seller is generous only regarding the items he sold. A giver's generosity includes items not specified as part of the gift. The Gemara demonstrates this distinction by way of an incident. The giver instructed to give a property where one can store 100 barrels. Only a property that holds 120 barrels was found. Mar Zutra holds he receives an area of that property suitable for 100 barrels. Rav Ashi proves from our Mishnah, the same way a giver includes all contents of a field, in this case, his intention was to give the whole house, mistakenly thinking it holds only 100 barrels. Brothers who divide their father's estate, it is similar to a gift in respect to each brother acquiring all contents of his field. However, transferring all contents is not an expression of generosity, but a means for them to acquire their full respective shares. Therefore, a brother living within another brother would retain a right of way. One acquiring property of a convert. The property of a convert is ownerless. Therefore, one's acquisition acquires all its contents. One consecrates a field. Tanakama holds he consecrates all its contents. It is a gift to the temple. Rabbi Shimon holds it is more comparable to a sale, except he includes mature carobs and sycamores. The Gemara discusses the law for one who sold a field retaining its trees. Rav Huna states, one who bought one or two trees acquires the trees without their land. He has in fact bought rights to the fruits as long as the tree lives. Once it withers, he must remove them without replanting. However, one who sold land retaining its trees retains ownership to the land beneath and around them. Even according to Rabbi Akiva, selling generously applies only to land whose contents are pits or cisterns that do not damage the ground. The seller is not concerned he may be forced to leave. However, a tree damages land by its roots, so the buyer may force him out. The Gemara challenges Rav Huna from Rabbi Shimon's ruling in the Mishnah. Rabbi Shimon holds that consecrating is similar to a sale except for trees. Even carob and sycamore, generally deemed separate property because anything nourished from consecrated property becomes consecrated. However, according to Rav Huna, the consecrator retains ownership of the land. The Gemara answers, Rabbi Shimon holds like Rabbi Akiva that a seller or consecrator sells generously. Rav Huna holds like the Chachamim that one sells stingily, retaining ownership of his land to the extent he can replant new trees. If you're enjoying Daf and 5, please click on the link below, subscribe, and become a sponsor. Thank you.